Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Enter the Gungeon. I'm Nye. More offline gameplay here. Had a scare earlier today, because I thought my graphics card was dying. So a couple friends of mine actually have gotten me into PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I've been actually enjoying it a lot more than I thought. I'm not very good at it, and okay, that's interesting. So I'm not very good at it. It's been a long time since I've played first-person shooters. I've never been good at first-person shooters on PC. I always played them with controller on console. And, it was good once upon a time back when, like, Modern Warfare 2 was out, but, that was about it. So I'm playing this, and in general, I'm not that good. I have a very hard time aiming on it, and I keep on thinking I'm hitting people. Apparently, I'm not. So I'm having some trouble. But I was playing earlier today, and in general, we were having a good time. And all of a sudden, we're in the middle of a game, and my monitors just go black. Now, what's interesting, what's notable about this, is I was still getting the sound of the game. So, I could still hear, bullets, I could still hear, vehicles, but all three of my monitors just went black, and they said there was no input coming in through the input devices. So, nothing coming in through HDMI. So I'm sitting here going, okay, must be a glitch, it's nothing to worry about. I'll just reset my computer and try again. No such luck. Resetting my computer does absolutely nothing. Start up PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds again. I'm able to play about 10-20 minutes, and then, once again, screens go black. So then I spent a couple minutes trying to figure out what's going on, and, why is this happening? Why am I having trouble? I haven't ever had trouble, of this type with this PC before. And, my PC's, it's getting older. It's about 3.5 years old now, all told. I've been having thoughts about looking into upgrading a graphics card. Obviously, not something that's really a doable thing right now. What with the, cryptocurrencies driving up the prices of graphics card right now. Not something, I was going to think about right now, but all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh god, I have to think about upgrading my graphics card. And with the price of graphics card, that's a huge deal. And I have been trying to save up money for a vacation towards December. So really not a good time to have to drop, $600 or $700. And then all of a sudden I start getting a message from my PC while I'm on the BIOS screen going, hey, overclocking failed. And the problem is, I'm okay at, at PC, hello. I'm okay at PC, software, for the most part, but I've got nothing on PC hardware, So I didn't overclock this system. A friend of a friend did. That friend of a friend is no longer available, for a variety of reasons. So, I'm just sitting here kind of like, screwed 6 ways till Sunday. I forgot. This one you have to do this, right? Yeah. You shoot this one from a distance. Now I remember. So I went in, I adjusted the overclocking, and basically turned the overclocking off. And then, but what I learned, apparently, is even though my PC is, fairly strong, like, I have a pretty good PC. Apparently, in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, even though the game is fairly simple graphically, if you set the settings higher than, like, medium, it just shreds your computer. And my dumbass, I was trying to figure out if players on different visual settings saw things differently than I do. Like, if they, were able to see things better in underbrush, shit like that. So I had turned all the settings on to Ultra. And apparently, that is where I went wrong. Apparently that just breaks your damn computer. So I went back, I adjusted it. Things seem to be working now. I was able to play a game without my computer breaking on me. Now the downside, the problem, is that even with that being a thing, my computer still won't overclock anymore. Which is kind of sad. My PC was like 12.5% overclock, something like that. So it's nothing huge, but it's still a sizable amount of speed that I had to lose by turning that off. And I don't know if I can safely turn it back on again, because I don't know why it's not working. So that's going to be a problem, because, you know, I use Sony Vegas to render, and, you know, you might be sitting there going, okay, so why, you know, why is that a problem? So the reason that's a problem is that, for whatever reason, Sony Vegas uses the CPU to render, not the GPU. So it uses the processor, not the graphics card. And this is in an older version of Vegas that I had, that I no longer have the key for and can't seem to recover it. The older version did use the GPU, so I was able to use my graphics card and the power behind my graphics card to make things render faster. On my on the new version of Vegas, however, you can't do that. So I don't have the ability to render faster. So you know, use my CPU. So nice. So the fact that I had to slow down my CPU means all my videos are going to render slower than they used to, which is just kind of a suck thing, you know? Kind of upset about it. I mean, nothing I can really do about it, honestly. Had a argument with my D&D DM today. It was not a bad argument. The DM threw us into a situation that was designed basically. Oh, nice. So the DM threw us into a thing. He threw us into a thing that basically, from its heart, was meant to test our characters, their morals, how they dealt with situations. So the DM basically, we're traveling to a new town in the middle of a desert, and all of a sudden, we're on a wagon, and you have me, an elven druid. We have a reanimated skeleton of an elf. This reanimated skeleton is a bard. Oh god. Okay. So we have the bardic skeleton. We have a tiefling warlock. We have a human, like, spell fighter, something like that. I don't understand the full details of how the class works, but we have this human spell fighter thingy, and we have an Aarakocra monk. So we got, you know, we got kind of the full gamut going on. No dedicated damage dealer. No, we have a lot of damage dealers. No dedicated tank to speak of, and also no dedicated healer. But kind of everybody picks those up. So I'm the druid, so I pick up, you know, I pick up some of the healing duties. We've had a lot of stupid shit happen because the DM likes having stuff happen to us. So our fighter is the tank, and the reason he's the tank is there was an encounter we had with a dude that gave my fighter a magical cheese grater. And apparently the deal with this cheese grater is that the cheese grater is magically enchanted, really cursed, if you want to think of it that way. Magically cursed that if you try to sell it to someone, they must make a, I think it's a will saving throw. If they fail, they must give you whatever you ask for in exchange for the cheese grater. this could have been a really bad thing. And the reason why is that we rolled a d20 to see who would get this particular interaction. And I don't like the situation. So we rolled a d20, and we didn't know the d20 was for, but apparently it was to figure out who would be approached by this NPC to see if they would buy the cheese grater. And the choice was between me and the human fighter. So the problem is I had just been given an Elvish Moonblade, which, if you don't know D&D, is a super duper enchanted weapon, typically like short sword or long sword. And the idea is it's only for like Elvish royalty, and it can, or at least as far as I could tell, and it can only be used by elves of the bloodline that originally used the weapon. So, some of us knew what a Moonblade was when it was first picked up. So, sorry. A lot of this, there's a lot of story to this. Work with me. So the idea was that our fighter had gotten this, we encountered this gigantic magical rock. We couldn't figure out what made the rock special at all. So we're trying to figure it out, and our fighter, being kind of like, he's a research guy, but he's also kind of stupid. He took a hammer and piton and smashed the piton into the magical rock. Magical rock exploded and imbued the piton with ridiculous levels of power. We're talking like, we're level like 4, and this piton's doing like, ow, that was stupid. This piton's doing like 1d10 fire damage, 1d10 force damage, 1d4 normal damage, also has a chance to set things on fire. Like, it was this ridiculous level of power for our point in the game. Nice. So, you know, we got kind of ridiculous levels of stuff going on. So we find this sword, and the guy who has this sword is trying to sell, it's a short sword, he's trying to sell, no, sorry, long sword. He's trying to sell this long sword for like 600 platinum pieces. None of us had that kind of money. So we keep on passing him up. But out of curiosity, one of our players asks him, you know, what does it do? And he just goes, well, you know, it's a Moonblade. It's extremely magically powered. None of us, like, most of the players didn't know what a Moonblade was, including myself. And none of our characters knew what a Moonblade was, or at least, at the time, didn't remember it. That's a better way to put this. So, all we know is it's a magical longsword. So we're offered the chance to trade this super magical piton for the Moonblade. And we said yes, of course. So the Moonblade goes to the human fighter. And we're trying to figure out what's going on, because I'm able to see all of these, like, runes on the blade, and no one else can see them, and we can't figure out why. And I can tell they're in, like, Old Elvish, but I can't figure out what they say, because I don't know enough about the language. And the problem is, our dead bard, you know, our skeleton bard does speak Old Elvish, but because she's dead, she can't see them. So it's this gigantic mess. So because apparently it's Elvish and therefore a big deal, my party decides, okay, give it to the elves. They give it to me. And, you know, even though I'm a druid, I'm an Elvish druid, therefore I am trained in longswords. So everybody was kind of hoping I'd be able to use it. But lo and behold, my character is not from a high bloodline, so I can't use it. The blade's not for me. But the blade speaks to me and goes, okay, you know, God damn it. I thought that dodge roll was going to work. You know, so the blade speaks to me and it goes, hey, will you help me find my true master? And we go, okay, sure. And so we start the quest. So immediately after this is when the d20 roll happens. I get a natural 20, so does my, the fighter. All of a sudden the DM goes, uh-oh, and we're like, what? And he goes, you guys need to re-roll again and break the tie. So we break the tie, I roll like a 3, he rolls a 17. So he gets the encounter. Guy rushes up with this cheese grater and says, hey, you know, this is the most magnificent cheese grater, it was owned by King such and such the such and such. Any cheese that you put in it automatically becomes the most delicious meal you've ever tasted. You know, I'll sell it to you, but only if you give me your most expensive item. And so, fighter makes the will save to see if he saves against this thing. We didn't know what it did yet. He fails, So he's forced to give this guy his chainmail. And then all of a sudden we're told what this thing does. And then my DM goes, and it's very glad you should be very glad Ren, the druid, did not get this situation. And we go, why? He goes, well, if you were forced, or if you failed in this, keep in mind, my wisdom score is fairly high. But he goes, if you failed your wisdom save, you would have been forced to give up the Moonblade. Giving up the Moonblade would have failed your quest. You would have automatically gotten, I think it's like -10 to all your stats. I think it was 50 points of health damage. And everything that you touch, you have a 1 in 10 chance of just automatically disintegrating. But just the -10 to stats would have outright killed me in the first place. So our fighter gets this thing, and we're trying to figure out what to do with it. And so our fighter gets the idea to see if he can trade someone for it. Because the idea is, it's an actual trade. And, you know, it's all above board, because technically it's a trade. Yes, the magical item is affecting the trade, but as long as you're not trying to force them to take it, as long as you just let the magic of the item do its thing, you're golden, right? So he goes up to this super magical blacksmith. Offers him the colander for a really good piece of armor. The blacksmith fails his will save, and so he is forced to give his most expensive armor to my man. Now, we're inside of a very large city at this point. So, he's forced to give my friend an artifact, which, if I remember correctly, gives him, like, a natural... I want to say it's like a natural 23 AC or something stupid like that. Maybe natural 21. +2 to con. He also, as long as he has any health, as long as he has over 1 health, I believe he automatically heals 1d6 health every round. He has no sense of smell, and he has to eat 6 times the normal amount of food, right? Gigantic freaking mess. But, awesome piece of armor, so we're all pretty, we're pretty satisfied. It's not... Okay. Do I want that? I don't think I want that. I don't get the singularity. So, it's a really cool item, and it automatically makes him the party's tank. So, as I said, he's our tank. So, we're traveling on this road, on our way to deliver the Moonblade to the place that we need to go. And all of a sudden, we're in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the freaking desert. We're about a mile away from our destination. And then on the road, we suddenly spy a guy who's, he's... Interesting that's still there. We spy a guy who is standing on top of a cart, waving and yelling out. We can't figure out what's going on. So our Aarakocra takes flight, goes over to see what's going on. And as he's doing that, the bard casts Sending and asks him what's wrong. And gets the response to this guy that, Okay, that was gonna happen. That sucks. This room sucks. But he gets a response from the guy that there's, purple worms in the area, and it's dangerous, and we should, run. And most of us don't know what purple worms are, but we learned there's these gigantic fucking sandworms. They get huge, the size of a city bus. They eat things indiscriminately. They burrow through the ground. Just this whole goddamn mess, right? So we're trying to figure out... We were under the impression that we are in the purple sandworms hunting radius. It's supposed to have like a 500-foot hunting radius. We're under the impression we're in it. So we're trying to figure out how can we get out, what can we do to save ourselves. So, like, I'm casting, like, summon creature, and then sending bats to like, draw this thing away from us. And then it turns out that, well, I don't really have to do, like, I can't really do that because this sandworm, it will only travel up to 500 feet away from a certain point, and then it turns around. Like, we can't keep it interested in anything past that 500 feet. So all of a sudden, we're like, okay, this is unusual. We already knew the sandworm was outside of the usual hunting grounds, so it was kind of very unusual for this thing to be here in the first place, but also the fact that we can't get it to go beyond a 500-foot point, also unusual. So all of a sudden now we're thinking trap. So trying to figure out what's going on. The Aarakocra goes to check the guy and make sure he's okay. Turns out he's been kind of standing on this, he's been standing on this cart for the better part of like 2 or 3 hours. You know, trying to figure out what to do because he knew he was in sandworm areas. So, god damn it. So we're trying to figure out what to do. And then we come to the conclusion that, well, the winged tiefling is gonna put the skeleton in a bag of holding, because the skeleton doesn't need air. So the winged tiefling will put the skeleton in a bag of holding and take off with the skeleton. The Aarakocra will just fly. And, you know, me and the soldier will try to figure out what we're gonna do. Well, I get the idea that, okay, I'm just going to... You know, I'm just going to use the bats and have the bats just distract the thing as we go around. And this is where the DM's like, oh, no. You don't understand. You're not within the 500 feet. The guy is. Well, none of us understood that. Like, all of us thought we were in the danger zone. So, like, okay, we'll just leave. You know, we'll just go around. And the Aarakocra's like, well, what are we going to do about the guy? And we're like, you know what? You're right. How about you let him know that you're going to pick him up and fly him to safety? The Aarakocra goes over and checks the guy, but notices that the guy does not seem to have any memory of him, and is responding in the exact same way he responded previously, the exact same lines, things like that. So he comes to the conclusion that this guy is an illusion. And he actually tries to pick up the guy, and he can't pick him up, so confirming he's an illusion. So we're all like, oh, okay, well, if he's an illusion, this is obviously a trap. You know, we will just fucking leave, and that'll be the end of it. We'll just take off. Well, as soon as we get halfway around this 500-foot thing, we have this loud-ass voice that goes, no, you did it wrong. You know, you were supposed to try to save the guy. You were supposed to go in and die a heroic death. And all of us have the same idea. We all use various powers and things like that to just flip off the sky. Like, I raise a gigantic middle finger. The Aarakocra uses elemental attunement to make a middle finger made out of dust. The human fighter, because he can create light, you know, cast light multiple times to create a middle finger made of light. Just, you know, we're all being salty at him. And the guy goes, no, you were fated to do this. And then he reverses time and forces us to try again. And at this point, we got no idea what's going on. But we're like, okay, if we have to save this guy, you know, what do we do? And so I have the bright idea, you know, it might be an illusion or something like that, but we might be able to pick him up. So I use Summon Beast to summon, like, a Quetzalcoatl and just pick the guy up and fly him back. Well, dude gets to the edge of the 500-meter zone and then just fucking vanishes. You know, again, it was an illusion. So we're like, okay. And all of a sudden we get approached by this wizard guy who's like, wow, you know, that was interesting. We're like, what the hell? And he goes, yeah, I created that illusion. So immediately we're on high alert because, you know, there's a voice that immediately said that this entire thing was intended to basically try to kill us. And if this guy says he's part of it, you know, we're like, okay, wait, you tried to kill us? She goes, no. My buddy tried to kill you. I just made the illusion. He controls the sandworm. So, you know, we're all kinds of pissed off. I think justifiably so. So we're trying to think about what we want to do to this guy. And, you know, some of us are like, well, we should probably kill him. You know, others are like, well, you know, he didn't try to kill us directly. But the Bard happens to have a deck of many things. But this deck of many things is kind of interesting because it has, I forget what it is. It's like 30 cards total. 29 of them are, it's like the moon or something like that. It's a card that's literally just steals your soul. And then of the other cards, it's 29 cards of steal your soul and 1 card of you get to make a wish. So really powerful deck. We only figured this out because one of our players basically wanted to stop playing a character they made because they thought they were too stupid. So we cycled their character out. And when we cycled their character out, their character found the deck of many things, opened it up, and then, you know, pulled the soul-stealing card and ended up having their soul stolen. We kept the deck for some ungodly reason. So because we were pissed off at this mage, our bard pulls out the deck of many things and offers it to him and tells him to, you know, pull a card. Now, here's the problem. The entire party knows that our former party member went catatonic. But the only person who knows how they went catatonic or why they went catatonic is this bard. So the bard was specifically just trying to catch this guy's soul. The rest of us don't know what's going on. We think that they're legitimately, like, showing them the deck cards, because they were just like, oh, okay, you know, we'll just show you a card trick or something like that. So we're not 100% sure what's going on, and the way it was talked about between the DM and the player in question, it was, let me show you a card trick, and the DM goes, okay, the guy reaches over to the deck and pulls out a Joker. So I'm, like, thinking, okay, so this is the DM telling the player that, no, you don't get to do this player. And then the DM goes, oh, wait, you're trying to do an actual card trick with an actual deck? Okay, let me pull an actual card. And so the character pulls the card, pulls the, you know, evil card, pulls the moon, and has their soul stolen. The other mage shows up and asks, what the hell's going on? Oh, your friend just fell asleep. Did he fall asleep? We think so. And then it turns out, oh, no, he had his soul stolen. So the guy is apparently a priest of the goddess of fate. And basically just goes, okay, you were not fated to have your soul stolen, you know, return to your body. He's the one who rewinded time on us. Returns to his body and goes, okay, who did this to him? And most of us are not sure what the fuck he means by this. In fact, the bard is the only one who actually knows what's going on. So he gets pissed off at the bard. And he's like, okay, you know, the entire point of this exercise was to see who your true selves are, see what you would do. Most people immediately do the dark or selfish thing. It took you guys twice to do it. And I'm sitting there, my character's neutral good. So I'm sitting there going, what do you mean the dark and selfish thing? I went and saved him. Well, yeah, but originally when you went, you went around. Well, yeah, because he was an illusion. Well, you didn't know that to begin with. Like, no, when we first thought he was real, we tried to figure out a way to save him. When we figured out he was an illusion, we stopped trying because there was no point. Well, yeah, but you eventually left. We went back and forth, back and forth. So, a whole mess in the first place. What do we got? You have nothing I care about. You have the bracket, but that gives me a point of curse, so I can't take it. I'm gonna take the Ring of Chess Friendship. I cannot take any of the rest of that stuff over there. I want the Owl. And then I'm gonna use the rest of the money to get a Winchester game in. Okay, so this one is there. Okay. So I gotta focus a little before I finish telling the story. Okay. Damn. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hit either of these other guys. Nope. Got two, so I got a green chest. Okay, that's fine. Which gave me a Hegemony Carbine, or Hegemony Rifle, which is, it's okay. You just have the empty bottle, the sponge, the mutation. Can't have any of your stuff. We might be back. So, you know, we're arguing about it, but it's kind of like this whole, like, you know, okay, well, we did what we intended to do, so we're just gonna kind of leave now, you know, you guys can go on your way. But the problem is, we're pissed off at them, because we're of the opinion that, you know, they just tricked us, they, you know, could have potentially killed us with this thing, because the guy was an illusion, the actual, the worm was not. So we're like, well, you know, this is, you kind of tried to kill us, so get the fuck out of our buggy. And so our bard, instead of just, you know, ask them to get out of the wagon, the bard kicks the disciple of fate out. Just, like, literally kicks them off the thing. And so the illusionist takes offense to this, and he's like, you know, bard, you should learn some humility and learn some manners. So he tries to throw some sort of ball at the bard, but, you know, bards being natural bullshit, our bard got a natural 20 on the dodge. And then we learned that it wasn't a dodge. He tried to do a ranged attack, and the ranged attack was, okay. The range attack was exactly our Bard's AC. Our Bard cutting words to him and dropped it. So, guy leaves. So, after we leave... And he just takes off. So, after he leaves, the DM says, okay, so because all of you acted against your alignment, and all of us go, whoa, 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 what the fuck do you mean acted against our alignment? He's like, well, you know, you try to steal their soul. And we're like, who's tried to steal their soul? You know, your ally over here did. I'm like, what? No, they tried to steal their soul. We had nothing to do with it. Well, all of you knew what they were trying to do. No, we didn't. Yes, you did. You were there when they stole the last soul. No, we weren't. We were out hunting. No, you weren't. Yes, we were. Yes, they were. So it's this entire back and forth bullshit. And so the DM eventually acknowledges that, okay, you know, the druid and the Aarakocra monk were not there when the soul was stolen, but the sorceress was. It's like, yeah, the sorceress arrived late, and she doesn't know what caused the soul to be stolen. Okay, well that's understandable, but you still allowed her to attack. We didn't know what was going on. Okay, you know, if we knew what was going on, we would try to stop her. It's like, and so he's like, okay, fine. So the Bard will have an alignment shift. And I'm like, wait a second. These fuckers attacked us. No, they didn't. Yes, they did. No, the only person that attacked you was the druid, or the cleric of fate. The illusionist didn't attack you. And our argument was the illusionist was an accomplice. Like, no, he didn't do the attack himself. But on the flip side of that, he did something that would have helped the attack go through. And the DM just was not seeing it from our point of view. It was like, well, you could have insight checked him. Why? Why would we have insight checked him? To see if he's telling the truth. I don't care if he's telling the truth. He admitted that he was helping the guy who attacked me. He's therefore untrustworthy. I don't need to insight check him anymore. So, it's this whole mess that primarily stems from the concept of, you know, you guys didn't have the information. We're like, no, we didn't have the information. Therefore, we should not be punished because we made a decision with the information. We made the decision that was best at the time, based on the information that we had. No one here acted contrary to alignment. The argument lasted the better part of an hour to convince the DM that there was basically no other decision our characters would have made with the information they had at hand, and we were acting true to our generally good alignments. But he decided that because the Bard knew what the deck of many things would do to this guy if he pulled the card, the Bard was therefore going to be chaotic neutral as opposed to chaotic good. Because basically she was not even killing the guy, she was trapping his soul forever, and that is an evil act. So, like, this whole bit of nonsense, and it was all based on the concept of, like, the DM was saying that we took action when we should have insight checked, because other parties he's done this event to did a shit load of insight checks. And kind of, I guess, in a little way, kind of ignored our actual characters. My character's the flaw, that if you fuck with him, if you, like, attack him, or, you know, injure him or his allies in some way, you're fucking dead to him, you know? Like, he is not gonna just let that shit live down. He is gonna, you know, get on you for it. He's gonna punish you in some way. That's just what he does. And this is not the first time it's happened. So there was no reason for him to, you know, do an insight on these two assholes. Because he's already decided, they're assholes, they tried to kill me, therefore I don't trust them. And nothing they can do so far will make me want to trust them, because they're just acting untrustworthy. So, lots of nonsense, lots of, you know, bullshit going on. We all were, kind of upset at the DM for how it went down. And, you know, not necessarily, not necessarily, not his fault. Like, the DM ran this the way he wanted to run this. You know, kind of set this up in such a way to allow us to play out our characters. But, you know, all of us were upset that we were being kind of judged on how our characters would act because of the information that we had. We didn't have the extra information, so we didn't act according to, you know, what the DM wanted, because we didn't have the information he was, you know, he thought he should have. Like, apparently, the actual, you know, the actual, illusionist would not have allowed our party to be, killed. He would have intervened, but we didn't know that. So for all we know, he's just helping this other guy do this dastardly deed. That is so not worth it. So many other good things I could have spent that, so many other things I could have spent that key on. That was not worth it. I'm really hoping we get more more, amulets. Because the, owl makes those amulets happen. So it's this amazing combo. I'm also kind of hoping that there's a key in my future. Ow. I'm hoping there's a key in my future that will allow me. Hold up. I want to go check on this door and on this door. Oh, there's a key right there. Because I'm curious if that locked door over there... This one, I'm curious if that goes to a fountain. I don't think I can pick up any more items in this room except for his, and I don't want his. Okay, what weapons do I have? I don't really have any amazingly good weapons for taking on this boss. Especially not this boss, and especially not a fucking, especially not a jammed version of him. Okay. Get on this side of him. Okay, we almost got him. I was really hoping he wouldn't use his attack. Okay, we got him. Sorry, that's a boss I have to concentrate on. If I do not concentrate, I will just fucking die against this guy. Okay, I have the keys I need. First thing I want to do is I want to go to that room right there. I want to figure that is. If that is... Oh, it doesn't matter if it's a... I was hoping it's going to be a fountain. But it doesn't matter if it's a fountain, because I don't have enough money to actually do anything about it. Oh my god. He has the reload stone, which I can't even afford. I wish I had known about him earlier, because that I would have actually bought the reload stone. Yeah, so he's going to give me a free item. So he's going to give me the Gun Knight Greaves, which is actually fairly excellent. Pretty happy with that item. admit, I was kind of hoping for Sir Junkin. Don't want the Eyebomb Companion, don't want the lowercase r. I think I'm pretty good. So yeah, it was this gigantic goddamn argument. Oh, nope. Keep going. Okay. So, in general, this run is good. It could be better, naturally, but... I am so annoyed at how this room is going. He keeps on, like, powering up the guys that I am currently shooting. Which is just a complete and total annoyance. I mean, we're basically working off of this one gun that I've had since start of game. Like, I kind of wish we could have gotten that reload stone. That reload stone, by itself, would have probably made this a winning run, I think. I mean, the singularity's good, don't get me wrong. Requires a little bit of finesse to use, but... I don't know if that Shelaton's actually dead. Seems to be. I'm amazed that that guy's still alive. That goo there. God, if I can just get myself another amulet. Oh my god. Did not even realize you were there. Yeah, this guy is like a boss level asshole. And he's being created that way by this guy. Took a little bit of damage. It's fine. We're gonna get that health back. Or at least hope springs eternal. I love this shotgun. Like, it's not the most ammo efficient shotgun. And the reload time sucks, don't get me wrong. Okay. Now, if we could reduce that reload to a more reasonable length. I don't even know what I got hit by, to be honest with you. I was looking. I didn't see the shot that hit me. Okay. Feeling bad. So tomorrow's going to be the 4th of July. And, My dog is gonna go bonkers. They were already firing off some early fireworks today, and she's already been having a pretty tough time today. Tomorrow, it's gonna be so bad for her. But as kind of the corollary to that, I feel bad for me too, because she's gonna drive me nuts all day tomorrow. Get rid of that thing, so I can kind of make my way through here. How are you still alive? Now, specialty room right there. Ow. Excuse me, can you stop? Get some confusion going. Are you really shooting me with a fish? I am really shooting you with a fish. We'll come back for that. That is actually worth it. I don't want to fight the boss yet. I definitely want to see if I can get a key. You ever, like, read a piece of media or watch a piece of media, and it just kind of, like, screws with your head for a while? Like, you keep on sitting there thinking, like, you know, what if? Like, how did this work? How did that story work? I've had a couple of those recently. One of them, and I may have talked about this recently, one of them is Homestuck. Recently finished it, got to the end. Kind of waiting to hear if the actual, like, epilogue that was talked about will actually happen. But it just, like, I'm thinking about it, it's just like, the story and shenanigans that happen in it just kind of screw with your head, you know? Especially with how the ending is set up. Can't talk about all the ones that screw with my head, because some of them are decidedly not kid-friendly. But there are some that are just kind of sitting here in my head, and it's like, wow. Like, number one, how do you even come up with some of these ideas, right? Make them coherent. You know, a story and a plot line that makes at least a decent amount of sense when you put it together. Oh, hi. Didn't even see you there. That guy spawned you really fast. Okay. That could have killed me if that actually hit me. I've taken a lot of damage on this floor. You want to fall over? Thank you. I'm taking a crap ton of damage on this floor. I need to stop taking damage on this floor. I would have loved to have used a key. There's basically been no keys. I kind of want this red Guon stone. Mine cutter, okay. I mean, I guess we'll finish up the floor in the hope of getting a, getting some extra money. Okay. Do not think I got enough money for this. I need 98. The boss, if I survive the boss, will give me the 98. Let's see who it is. Am I going to survive? Probably not. Okay, come on. Give me the singularity. Okay, come on, you guys. Keep on almost dying here. And this is where I'm probably gonna die. Damn it. So much damage taking this for. I appreciate all you guys. I'll see y'all later.